Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Nara Promotions, the real deal podcast show. Goodness gracious me. We say always pray when you're going out, pray when you're coming in, and always remember God is in control. Always remember that. That's who we don't control our lives, and we've got to always pray because the type of world we're living in today, as you can see, it's not an easy one, but it's much better than many years before. However, be your brother's keeper, be your sister's keeper. We say, welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Ladies and gentlemen, we urge you to keep this family-friendly show alive. Donate to this family-friendly show so you can keep it alive. On your screen, you can see the many ways you can donate to the show. So rewind the tape if you want to get it. I'll put it up again in a few. However, we start out with a few jokes. And let's get to our first joke, to set the tone for tonight. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We'll share this one with you. We're putting it on the screen. Here we go.
Me I run there for me hot and thing. Look here. Where thief the man fish?
Well, on the Remy. Fish. I'm a pet fish them here.
Look here. Come on, you got face, man. Come on, you thief, man.
You're talking about officer. Fish. I'm a pet fish them here. I'm here train them and I'm here them for a long time.
Train them?
Yeah.
You know only thief. Yeah, man. You train fish? Come. Enough people see and can describe you when say you thief the fish. So right now, me I arrest you for simple last thing. Come. You go stay so right now. Come, man.
Listen, I'm a pet fish them here. The fish sleep right on my bedside in the little basin. And anytime I go nowhere, all I have to do is hold on my back and say, Philip and Felicia and jump in. And I'm jumping so we can power with them at the time. I'm a fresh man.
So you train them?
Yeah, you want to prove it?
So train them for the what?
Anything we can't throw them all in the water right now. I call them name and them come back.
Do it then.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right.
So call them back now.
What?
The fish then?
Which fish?
The fish where you threw over a while ago.
I'm mad, man. Which fish? I want to get knocking it.
Goodness gracious me. Ladies and so let's get to our second joke, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to put that on your screen right now. We're just setting the tone for tonight because tonight we have a packed show. So let's share that with you and then we'll get on to regular programming. Here we go. And this one is the question is asked, which would you choose, money or life? Here we go.
Hey, choose one, money or your life?
I choose one, money or
Your life.
none of them.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't have money.
What about your life?
I gave it to Christ last Sunday.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, in Jamaica, schools are now in full operation. That's a beautiful thing. And my little daughter Giovanna is complaining, I don't want to be at that school. She wants to change school. She doesn't joke. So I want to say big up to all the taxi drivers in South Central Jamaica and across Jamaica, but especially in South Central Jamaica. Taxi drivers from New Forest and bus drivers like Tony, you've got Mama Pearl Tours, you got the Alligator Pond taxi drivers and bus drivers, we got Prospect, Downs, Lititz, Junction, Bull Savannah, Santa Cruz, Gutters, you name it. These guys are Nin and all the taxi drivers and bus drivers. We're gonna say big up to you because you're moving the people, and I'm telling you, you're doing a great job. We also want to big up all the teachers, although you're still going through the debacle. You deserve a higher paid, higher wages, but you will get through. Just check Mark your G. Like Angela, so ladies and gentlemen, keep on knocking at the government's door, and you'll get through. All the workers, all the hustlers, everybody, we say big up to you, and just keep it going. Your honest bread is what counts, and I'm saying congratulations. You know what I mean? So, I have a contention, ladies and gentlemen, that there's an athlete that blamed the Jamaican oxtail. He was disqualified in Tokyo, and he's now blaming the Jamaican oxtail for 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 um for for not passing his drug test. I don't understand that. I think the government should take that, do an investigation. Blaming the Jamaican oxtail. I don't understand this man. That's not right. What do you say? Tell me in the comment section. But however, I'm gonna put this picture up in a minute. But the Jamaican women qualified for the semifinals in Tokyo, and also the Jamaican men athletes, they also qualified also in Tokyo, and that's a big deal. So I want to say big up to the whole Jamaican crew. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. There you go. Semifinals qualified. Loading, ladies and gentlemen, loading. And we also have the men who qualified too. You know what I mean? So that's a beautiful deal. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we want to say congratulations to them. And with Godspeed, we hope we'll take it home from Tokyo. You know what I mean? But we still have a contention with that little man who blamed the Jamaican oxtail, You understand me? Yeah, but I like that. That's not right. You know what I mean? How can you blame the Jamaican oxtail? Let me see what this guy is saying. Let's check this out, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. He's blaming the Jamaican oxtail. For testing positive for a drug test. No. Didn't he get the news that that don't associate Jamaica with all of that? So, we're proud of our athletes, and we're saying Godspeed to them, and we wish them all the best. We're praying for their victory in Tokyo. So that's a big deal. However, we have a couple of Jamaicans in South Central Jamaica who are artists. You have one who's emerging, one who has been there and is still emerging. And we want to big up Chris. Is it Chris Montague? Let's see. Let's get him up here. Let's see. Let's get him. Yeah, Chris De Montague. That's his name, and we're gonna bring him and play a couple of clips. We want to big up to Misha's Right Spot and Kamisha, who brought this to my attention, and it's a big deal. And this gentleman has been doing the do for some time, and he's emerging, ladies and gentlemen. So, I want to play a quick 30 seconds of his song, and then if you need it, I can forward it to you. Here we go. Let's get him going. He has a great track called Missing You. And we're going to highlight that tonight. So big up to Misha at the right spot every time. Yeah, here we go. And this is Chris DeMontague, and I have permission to play this song, but I don't want to be flagged by YouTube, so I can't play all of it. So I'll touch a few seconds of it, and then we'll move on from there. Here we go. Let's get that going. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to start. Here, Chris DeMontague.
I never meant to cause you this pain.
And this is a St. Elizabeth artist, ladies and gentlemen. He's from St. Elizabeth. Big deal. Listen to this.
Oh, you think I'm insane, baby? I was caught up playing those games. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do.
And if you need this track, you can go on YouTube. You can also check him out. You saw it in the beginning section. Here we go.
It cuts like a knife. Can't believe that you're gone out of my life. Listen.
And that's a beautiful song there, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big deal from Chris DeMontague. Beautiful song from a St. Elizabeth artist doing the do. I'm telling you, he's doing big things, and we wish him all the best. And we also have another artist from Clarendon, South Central Jamaica. You know, Clarendon is right in my space. You know what I mean? So it is in my circle. So this gentleman is a good friend of mine, and he has been trying to break into the industry. And he had his name is Extension. His artist name is Extension, and he's doing the work, and he's following through, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing great. So here we go. We're gonna play a couple seconds of his song also, and you want to hear this because it's a young artist breaking in the industry, and I brought it to you first. You saw it here on Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. This is Extension, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
We just go and stay firm down and face this organ door. Enough people never want to make it out, but a wrong go. Any other go a wrong go.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is Extension to the world.
Kendrick. Father times. Into the fight to the darkest weather, sleepless night, tears when me cry, oh God know why. Can't find a job, no me eyes on dry. Hard work, sacrifice, putting on the future like me a race time, but me say me a go.
I've known this artist for a very long time, and he's a great friend of mine out of Maypen, and this is his hobby. He has a job outside of the music industry, but he wants to break in it big time, and he's putting in all his resources, and he's trying his best, and we can only help him up the line. So let's listen to a few more seconds of his song.
Enough of them weak and them never yet saw that. Let me skull cheap like say a doctor. Politics and cheat me, fuck fancy that. See to me, I left a tool for me hand. They did it like shit, still want tell me fat. Go tell them we hold like the piece with the map. Yo, I mean not play fool for the time, no.
Extension, ladies and gentlemen. Big up to Extension every time. Yeah, we say maximum respect to Extension. He's doing a lot of things in the music industry. He's trying to break that ice, break that ceiling to be on top as a superstar. And we say, Godspeed to you, Extension, every time. God bless you. Big up, my brother. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of things coming up, and one of the things we have coming up is the return to radio by my nephew Asher D. Asher D hails from the UK, and he was off live radio for a while, and he's now returning on September 19th in a big way. So big up to Asher D. He's gonna be back on the radio on September 19th. He's gonna be on there on Fridays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. And we say Ashley hails from Sea Ear District in Manchester. That's Manchester, Jamaica, by the way. And he lives in the UK, and he's in the music industry in a big way. And he's going to be back on the radio. If you want to go back to some previous posts, then you can check him out. But we're going to get him on the show this coming week before his debut on Passion Radio UK. And you can go on to passionradiouk.com and download that app. You can also go in the Apple Store or Google Store and also download that. But be ready on September 19th. Asher D will be back on Radio Live, and he was also instrumental in a lot of major artists' career in building them on the European stage and taking them to the world. Big up to Asher D. He'll be back on radio, and that's my nephew. So big up to Asher D. Yeah, man. Every time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we also have some rescheduled broadcasts that it's loading and coming soon. So you got to like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. You got to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, because you will miss this if you don't. So keep this family-friendly show alive by donating also. You got to donate to us so we can keep this show alive. So you can donate at any one of those areas that you see on your screen. Just donate to us, whatever you can. Just do it. Keep the family-friendly show alive. This is Naran Promotions, The Real Deal podcast show. So the dates are reloading right now for the following: Alport Farmer Workers Pension Problems Meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not forgotten you guys. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell to know when we're coming on live. I'm going to be there soon to meet with you, and also I'm going to collaborate with all the sugar workers who are not receiving their pensions, and we're going to be dealing with that in a big way. So, ladies and gentlemen, of the former Alport workers who are not receiving their pensions, that meeting is coming up real soon. So stay tuned, and big up to all of these guys, because they've been suffering, but they're holding on, ladies and gentlemen. They're holding on big time. But one of the jokes, I wanted to bring a joke, just to lighten up the atmosphere with all the guys who are not receiving pensions. I know it's a painful thing, because you need your medications. You want to help your family. You've worked for 15, 20, 30 years, and you're not receiving your pension. And, you're heartbroken. But we're going to do everything we can to get to the bottom of it. So we have not forgotten you. But I want to put this joke up just to keep it light for you, so that you can have a smile on your face. They said the reason why you're not getting your pension, Here we go. This is one of the reasons the government is not is against lump sum payment or pensions. So that's a joke, guys. That's a joke. Bless your heart. I just wanted to put a smile on your face, because I know you're suffering from all what is going on here, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. It's a serious business, and it's a big deal, and we're going to help you to get to the bottom of it. I as long as I'm alive, ladies and gentlemen, we say, just hang on, we're coming. All right, help is coming. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, also, you remember Kahela Martin and her team, the gymnastics team, and also Coach Jody. You remember those people? Huh? They went to the Dominican Republic, and they came third out of 30 countries, including the United States, who competed in the gymnastics tournament. And they did absolutely exceptional to come third. And we'll be having them on the show soon. And I'm yet to dial that number. So, Coach Jody, stand by. You're going to get a call tomorrow so we can set the date. Okay? Big up to you and the team. You also remember Jamaican. Jamaican lost his son just about when we were supposed to have that interview with Jamaican out of Prospect District in Manchester. Big international artist. If you don't know Jamaican, just Google it or go to YouTube. You'll see a catalog. He's been touring the world, and he's on tour right now to the end of the year. But we're gonna get him here on the show real soon, guys. And we're also waiting on DJ Latta. He's got to be here. Big up to DJ Latta, wherever you are in the world, brother. You know, DJ Latta has to be here when we have that interview because this is a big deal. So we say hats off to Jamaican, safe journey. We wish you all the best on your tour, and we'll have him here soon on the show. And also remember, ladies and gentlemen, Hot Gossip. Remember that we still have not completed that series of interviews with Hot Gossip, and DJ Latta has to be here. Big up to DJ Latta and Hot Gossip. So Mr. Lee himself and the crew will be closing out that series very soon. So stand by, like, share, subscribe, and comment. And also remember Dragon Force. Big up to Dragon Force. Father Dragon, one of the biggest sound system alongside also Hot Gossip and Mr. Lee. I think Dragon was birthed from Hot Gossip exiting the scene. If correct me if I'm wrong, but Father Dragon is now the giant, the godfather in South Central Jamaica when it comes to sound system and the age of time and the length of time he has been in the business, and he still has one of the biggest, baddest sounds in South Central Jamaica. Big up to Father Dragon. You know what I mean? And finally, ladies and gentlemen, as I say, stand by. The Naram Promotions family from the UK will be here soon. So stand by for that date. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. Don't forget to donate to our cause to keep this family-friendly show alive. This is for you, the people, especially those in South Central Jamaica and those in the diaspora. We go back and forth from you with news, views, and interviews. You know what I mean? And also we share important information, and you can always call in and check us out. So donate to us, whichever, it doesn't matter how much it is. We're not telling you what to do or how much to do, but just do what you can do. You know what I mean? So big up to you guys, and big up to my audience all across the world. Welcome back to Naram Promotions, The Real Deal podcast show. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I touch into U.S. immigration, I want to touch this subject because it is extremely important that you know the changes, major changes that are going on. But I want to give you a warning for those who are traveling here or anywhere in the world. You can't let your guard down. And that's extremely important that you don't, because there's so much things going on, and one wrong move can really ruin your life. And I do not want that to happen, especially to anyone who's traveling, but especially the people of Jamaica. And I'm saying to you, just be careful, guys. There's so much going on out there, and I just wanted to bring on stage here a young lady who's gonna just express that for me in a meaningful way. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna bring her on the stage just to give you a heads up. If you have a visa or you're traveling to a visa-free country and you're going through the airport, it's extremely important that you be aware of what's happening in those spaces, because the one wrong move in that space can ruin your life. So here we go. We'll have this young lady tell you what I'm trying to explain to you. Here we go.
Be very careful with strangers. You can sit there for hours waiting for your connection. When you're at the airport, be very careful with strangers. You can sit there for hours waiting for your connection, and someone will sit next to you, start a friendly chat, and before you know it, it feels like you've known each other for years. That's how they get you, by making you comfortable. They'll walk with you to buy food, even to the bathroom, and it will feel like coincidence when you discover you're on the same flight or even booked at the same hotel. But that's manipulation. Once you let your guard down, they might ask you to watch their bag. Never do it. The airport is not a place to make friends. Stay in your own space. Put on your earphones, watch a movie, scroll your phone, anything to avoid unnecessary conversations. Even if you see someone you know from home, don't agree to carry their bag or pretend you're traveling together. Because once you get to immigration, they may ask, "Are you traveling as one?" The answer is always no. Same flight doesn't mean same journey. If you say yes, you can be held responsible for things you know nothing about. Also, when you put your bag in the overhead compartment, don't leave the zipper facing the aisle. Turn it inward so no one can slip anything inside. People carrying illegal stuff panic and look for a place to dump it. Don't let that place be your bag. And another thing, don't trust random job offers while traveling. Real jobs don't come from strangers at airports. If someone promises you work without an application, a contract, or a proper visa, it's a setup. Many innocent people have ended up in prison or trapped in trafficking because of this. So my advice is simple. Mind your own business, keep to yourself, and don't trust strangers when you travel. Protect yourself first.
So you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big deal. That's a big deal, and you gotta be aware. And it's very serious when you're traveling, because you have a lot of unscrupulous people that will set you up, and you gotta understand that you don't know, you can't read a person's mind, and they will come off friendly, but trust the agents at the airport. If you need to ask a question, you need some directions, or you need to do something, go to the bathroom and you want to leave your bags, go talk to, take your bags with you. Don't leave it with anybody. You know what I mean? Be careful. I can't overemphasize that, because at the airport, just remember that these agents, whichever airport you're flying from or you're landing in, you have limited rights, because it is that ground is controlled for a purpose. It's a security ground, so people can find ways to damage your character or your future if you're unaware. So be careful traveling through the airport. It's very serious here in the United States when it comes to immigration, whether you're traveling as a visitor or you're migrating or you're a green card holder, or you're coming through the airport. Just be careful, guys. Even if you're a citizen, whosoever you are traveling, just be careful, guys. This is a big deal. So just be aware. You know what I mean? So also there's a major crackdown Well, before I get into the crackdown, let's talk about the Supreme Court of the United States making a big unanimous decision that's earth-shattering and it's historical. This the Supreme Court made a decision, and one of these decisions that they made is going to change the landscape in the United States forever and ever. This is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is a nine judges on the Supreme Court made this decision, and it is amazing to have all the judges make this decision all at once. So let's get into it right now. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, here we go. And I think I have the wrong video up. So let me get the right video here. Here it is. Let's get back there and get this video up here. I queued up the wrong video, ladies and gentlemen. So let me get the right video up here right now so I can share this video. But this was a historic decision that the Supreme Court made, and I'm going to bring that on the stage right now. Listen to it, and I'll comment on it afterwards. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
That's sending shockwaves through the entire Second Amendment community right now. A stunning 9-0 unanimous decision has just been issued that completely changes the game, and legal experts are now seeking massive expansion that could transform constitutional rights forever. This bombshell ruling is already causing panic among anti-gun activists because they know what's coming next. If you want to stay ahead of this developing story that mainstream media won't tell you about, hit that subscribe button right now, because this changes everything. The shocking 9-0 unanimous decision that changed everything. This Supreme Court ruling didn't just happen overnight. It took 3 years of legal battles and cost over $2.3 million in legal fees to reach this point. What makes this decision absolutely unprecedented is that even the most liberal justices voted unanimously, something that happens in less than 36% of Second Amendment cases. The ruling specifically addressed warrantless searches of homes containing firearms, striking down a practice that affected over 847,000 American households annually, according to Department of Justice statistics. Legal scholars are calling this the most significant firearms-related constitutional victory since District of Columbia versus Heller in 2008. But here's what nobody saw coming. This decision has opened a legal door that could expand far beyond what anyone imagined, and the implications are staggering. The $180 million legal strategy now targeting red flag laws. Within 48 hours of this Supreme Court decision, a coalition of constitutional law firms launched what they're calling the largest coordinated legal assault on red flag laws in American history. These firms have already allocated $180 million specifically to challenge red flag statutes in all 21 states where they currently exist. The strategy is brilliant. They're using this unanimous Supreme Court precedent to argue that red flag laws violate the exact same constitutional principles the court just protected. Data from the Gun Violence Archive shows red flag laws have been used to confiscate firearms from over 77,000 Americans since 2018, often without the gun owner ever appearing in court. Constitutional attorneys are now filing challenges in Florida, California, New York, and Connecticut simultaneously, arguing that if police can't enter homes without probable cause, as the Supreme Court ruled, then judges can't authorize firearm confiscation without the same standard. What's shocking is how quickly this coordinated response came together, suggesting this strategy was planned long before the court ruled. The enforcement crisis that's paralyzing law enforcement. Police departments across America are now facing an unprecedented enforcement crisis because of this ruling, with over 15,000 officers requiring immediate retraining on constitutional procedures. The International Association of Chiefs of Police released an emergency bulletin stating that 67% of warrantless home entries previously considered legal are now potentially unconstitutional. Training costs alone are estimated at $89 million nationwide as departments scramble to update protocols. In Chicago, police have suspended 234 pending investigations involving potential firearm seizures pending legal review. The Los Angeles Police Department has put a complete moratorium on wellness checks involving reported firearms until new guidelines are established. What's creating absolute chaos is that this ruling retroactively calls into question thousands of previous cases where evidence was seized under the old standards. The constitutional loophole that could revolutionize concealed carry. Legal experts have identified a constitutional loophole in this Supreme Court decision that could completely revolutionize concealed carry laws nationwide, and it's hiding in plain sight. The court's emphasis on probable cause standards for home searches has created what constitutional scholars call a parallel protection pathway for concealed carry rights. Gun rights attorneys are now arguing that if the government needs probable cause to search for firearms in homes, they should need the same standard to restrict carrying firearms in public. This argument has already been filed in lawsuit challenges across 8 states with restrictive concealed carry laws. The legal theory suggests that New York's proper cause requirement, California's good cause standard, and similar restrictions in other states all fall below the probable cause threshold the Supreme Court just mandated. The federal agency meltdown and policy reversals. Federal agencies are in complete meltdown mode following.
Let's get this off the screen and go back to regular programming, guys. And let's pause that for a second. And you may be wondering why I brought this this news clip to you. Many of our people in the diaspora have cases that could be overturned based on this ruling. So I know a few people in South Central Jamaica who are now serving time, and there's a possibility, I don't know, there's a possibility that their cases could be overturned if they revisit the case and speak to their attorneys to look into how best they can use this new decision by the Supreme Court to deal with their case. So this is a big, big deal. It's earth moving. It has changed the landscape forever. This is a 9-0 decision by the Supreme Court of America. And if you have other people that have cases that are similar or are on the same playing field as this decision, then it is worth looking into the possibility that their cases could be overturned. Look into it. I don't know. Speak to your attorney. They could, look into it and compare that case with the law. But this is earth moving, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a big deal. So continue listening, and we're going to move to the next video. Here we go. Oh, let's get the audio up.
Due to program cancellations. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives has suspended 43 active investigations and recalled 178 field agents pending policy reviews. Internal ATF memos obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests show panic among administrators who realize their enforcement tactics may now be unconstitutional. The Department of Homeland Security has quietly suspended portions of their domestic terrorism prevention program that relied on warrantless surveillance of gun owners. Even more shocking, the FBI has initiated an internal review of over 8,900 cases involving firearm-related searches conducted since 2019. Justice Department officials estimate that defending against constitutional challenges stemming from this ruling could cost taxpayers $140 million in legal fees alone. The Multi-State Constitutional Convention movement. This Supreme Court victory has triggered something unprecedented, a coordinated, multi-state movement toward calling a constitutional convention specifically focused on firearms rights, and it's gaining momentum faster than anyone predicted. 16 states have now introduced resolutions calling for an Article 5 convention to propose constitutional amendments that would expand gun rights beyond what even this Supreme Court decision accomplished. The movement has raised over $67 million in just 6 weeks, with major donors contributing at levels never seen before in constitutional advocacy. Texas, Florida, and Tennessee have already passed preliminary resolutions, with votes scheduled in 13 additional states before year-end. The economic earthquake hitting gun control organizations. The financial impact of this Supreme Court decision has created an economic earthquake in the gun control industry, with major organizations facing unprecedented funding crises and strategic reversals. Everytown for Gun Safety has laid off 847 employees and closed 23 regional offices after major donors pulled $89 million in committed funding following the ruling. The Brady campaign has suspended operations in 11 states and canceled their planned $45 million advertising campaign for 2024. Internal financial documents show that gun control organizations collectively lost over $230 million in pledged donations within 30 days of the Supreme Court decision.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's check that out. You know, I mean, if you have somebody who has a case that needs to be looked at, you need to check that out because that's a big, big deal. You know what I mean? So, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Maybe things can happen here, but I'm going to move on to another historic, just to lay it out for you in another video about this historic ruling. And let's see. Here we go. Yep. Oh, before that, I want to begin. There was a fierce crackdown that went on just a few hours ago, based on an incident that happened here in the United States that you should know about. I'll comment on it afterwards, but this is a big deal, and I do believe that a major artist in Jamaica also sympathized with the event that happened, and he got a blowback from a lot of people who, who should have been sympathetic. And this is about Charlie Kirk. And after he was gunned down while he was at a university discussing or debating issues surrounding common sense. We say condolences to the family of Charlie Kirk. He leaves behind a wife and children. And I'm so surprised that many would take an issue to him dying and saying, bad things. Where's your compassion? Everyone is entitled to their opinion. And he's I believe, a Trump supporter. And he explained the common sense around what President Donald Trump is doing, and you got to listen to him. His previous videos, they say he made derogatory comments, but you got to listen because nothing is wrong with that. Why couldn't he voice his opinion without you killing him? You know what I mean? Why couldn't he explain common sense without you killing him? It's not a one-sided life, and we say condolences to this gentleman. Condolences. It is a sad day when they have a bullet took him out. Why? Because he's talking to people. Where are we as a human race? But let's listen to this and I'll comment afterwards, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
In the backdrop of U.S. President Donald Trump's close ally and activist Charlie Kirk's assassination, the U.S. State Department has issued an extraordinary warning. Foreign nationals, including Indians, could face visa revocation if they praise Kirk's killing on social media. In a strongly worded post on X, Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau wrote, "Foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country." Landau further said consular officials have been instructed to monitor replies to his post and act against visa holders found celebrating the assassination. Since January, visas have already been revoked for applicants whose posts supported Hamas. Officials say social media accounts must remain public, and scrutiny has only deepened. But Kirk's assassination has reopened a raw wound. Just days before his death, Kirk himself courted controversy by claiming that America did not need more visas for Indians and asserting, "No form of legal immigration has displaced American workers as much as those from India. Enough already. We're full." That remark sparked outrage among Indian Americans. And now, his death has triggered a digital war of words, some mourning, some mocking, some celebrating. And the Trump administration is watching all of it. Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck while he was interacting with a crowd of about 3,000 at Utah Valley University and died soon after at the hospital. President Trump later confirmed Kirk's death in a video address, calling it a horrific assassination of a close aide. The FBI has since announced a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the arrest of Kirk's shooter.
And ladies and gentlemen, he has been arrested. Just to let you know, so this video was before he was arrested. So they found him, they arrested him, and we want a speedy trial for this guy.
Trump has also declared that he will posthumously award Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States.
Here they're making big progress, and we'll have to see what happens.
Do you have any indication of the shooter's motivation, sir?
I have an indication, yeah, but we'll let you know about that later. He's an animal. What he did is disgraceful. Charlie Kirk was a great person, a great man, great in every way, especially with youth. And what he did, what this man did, was disgraceful. So hopefully we'll have him and we will deal with him very appropriately.
But beyond the manhunt, Washington's message is unmistakable. The U.S. will not tolerate foreigners using their platforms to glorify political violence.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. And we say condolences to the family, Charlie Kirk. It's a sad day. It's a very sad day. Where's your humanity? The family lost a father, a husband, a friend. No one should go out that way. He was a prominent guy who is a God-fearing man. And we say, you know, God bless the family that's left behind. We're all with you. And we say condolences and we're sorry for your loss. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nara Promotions, The Real Deal podcast show. Another historic event happened in the Supreme Court. And I wanted to bring this to you. So listen in and we will comment on this afterwards. So let's bring this to the forefront. And let's here we go. Let's cue that up and bring that to you, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. I'll bring that to you. Listen, and I'll comment afterwards.
First in America has been turned upside down. Local police, state laws, and even courts that once had power over your future suddenly stripped of that authority. That's not a prediction. It's happening this September, and the Supreme Court just made it official. This ruling is not only historic, it's unprecedented. For the first time in decades, the U.S. Supreme Court has drawn a clear constitutional line. Immigration belongs entirely to the federal government. States.
I want you to listen carefully to this, ladies and gentlemen. This is a historic decision by the Supreme Court of America. This is a big deal. I'm going to step that back a couple of seconds so you hear this, and this is extremely important that you listen to what is happening here. This is a big deal. Here we go.
Line. Immigration belongs entirely to the federal government. States can no longer set their own immigration enforcement rules, no matter how tough or how lenient. The effects of this decision will ripple through families, communities, and businesses across the country. The case behind the decision. The ruling didn't appear out of nowhere. It came after months of intense legal battles, heated public debate, and mounting political tension. In a 5-4 decision, the court sided with federal supremacy over immigration. At the heart of the case was a fundamental question: who really controls immigration enforcement? In recent years, states like Texas, Arizona, and Florida had been passing aggressive immigration laws. These laws empowered state police to arrest undocumented immigrants, forced local jails to work with immigration authorities, and even penalized businesses that hired undocumented workers. Supporters called it necessary to protect communities. Opponents called it unconstitutional, discriminatory, and chaotic. The court has now spoken, and their decision reshapes everything. Immigration is a federal issue, not a state issue.
So let me pause there for a second and explain to you what is going on here. So certain states have been using the local police to enforce immigration law. If you remember, President Donald Trump federalizing a lot of the local police, that was not by chance. This was by design, because the Supreme Court now rules that the immigration laws and enforcement belongs to the federal government only. So by federalizing the local police, guess what happened? However, this also changes the trajectory of immigration in some states that are still holding out, because now they cannot create any rules regarding immigration that goes against the federal government. So whatever the federal government says about immigration, the states have to follow that. Think about it. Let's continue, and then I'll comment further. Here we go.
What changes in September 2025? So, what does this mean starting this September? Several major changes are coming. First, state-level immigration enforcement laws that conflict with federal policy must be repealed or suspended. State and local police will no longer have authority to detain people solely for immigration violations. Second, immigration detainers, where local jails held immigrants past their release date, will be reformed. Without a federal warrant, immigrants cannot be kept in custody just for immigration purposes. This protects against unlawful detentions and lawsuits. Third.
So, ladies and gentlemen, also remember that the Supreme Court also stayed the case where the lower district court federal judges stopped the president from exercising his rights as from the executive branch in California. So they stayed the lawsuit that the federal government brought to the Supreme Court. Now they can go anywhere, anytime, and for reasonable reasons of suspicion. So they can go across the 50 states and say, hey, we think illegal immigrants are over there, we're going to go over there. So it's all by design, guys. It's the law. It's back to law and order. And the Supreme Court has allowed the federal government to go anywhere, anytime, as long as they have a reasonable suspicion. So you got to follow the law, because it's very clear cut. So let's continue to listen to this, and we'll continue.
Thousands of deportation cases could be reopened. If someone's removal proceedings began with a state-initiated arrest under now invalid laws, immigration lawyers can seek dismissal or review. This could give many families a second chance. Fourth,
and do remember that we have over 600 military lawyers now acting as immigration judges. Okay. So go figure that one out. Over 600 military lawyers now becoming immigration judges. You see where this is going, right? Here we go.
The ruling indirectly empowers the federal government to expand programs like DACA without interference from states. With elections approaching, it's possible we'll see new protections rolled out by the White House as early as this fall. Fifth, for businesses, compliance rules are changing. State laws requiring tools like E-Verify will be overridden by federal standards. Employers must adjust hiring practices and prepare for stricter federal oversight. Impact on immigrant communities. For immigrants living in states with harsh enforcement policies, this ruling is a turning point. Local police can no longer stop or detain you just because of your status. While federal authorities still have power, communities will likely see fewer raids and less fear of random stops. For U.S. citizens in mixed-status households, the change could restore peace of mind. Families who once lived in constant fear of local police may finally begin to feel safer.
So let's hold that for a second and let's dive into the next video, because the next video is going to tell you, just explain to you a little bit more what this means. So let's get into it a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. Okay, and let's get that video up. Okay, so let's get that video queued up right now. And I'm getting it on your screen in a couple of seconds, guys. Just bear with me. Here we go. Boom. 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 Here we go. All right, so we're going to put that on screen right now. Here we go. Here we go.
Something extraordinary has just shaken the foundations of America's immigration system. In a decision that legal scholars are already calling one of the most important of this century, the United States Supreme Court has ruled on a case that could permanently redefine who has the ultimate authority over immigration enforcement. For decades, there's been a tug of war between Washington and the states, but now that battle has reached its climax. And starting this September 2025, everything changes. This is not just about politics. This is not just about border security. This is about families, communities, businesses, and the very meaning of federalism in America. Whether you're an immigrant fighting for stability, a business owner navigating complex laws, or a citizen wondering what your community will look like in the years to come, the ripple effects of this ruling will touch your life. You're watching USA State, and before we go any further, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like and share it so more people can understand the reality of what's happening right now in America. For years, states like Texas, Arizona, and Florida have taken matters into their own hands, passing laws that empowered local police to arrest immigrants, that required sheriffs and city officials to cooperate directly with federal immigration agencies, and that punished employers accused of hiring. undocumented workers. Supporters said the federal government had failed to secure the border and that states had no choice but to act. Opponents said these laws turned neighbors against neighbors, promoted racial profiling, and openly violated the Constitution. The Supreme Court, in a narrow 5-4 decision, has now drawn the line once and for all. Immigration, the court has ruled, is the sole responsibility of the federal government.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me pause there for a second and remind you that a lot has gone on in August and early September that you have to understand here in the United States. And this probably was anticipated. This is why a lot of these local police are being federalized. This is why you have over 10,000 more ICE agents. This is why they closed the border. This is why they're charging you $1,000 a day if you don't get your affairs in order. If you're sitting here in the United States hoping that you will ride this wave out, you got another thing coming because ICE can go anywhere at any time as long as they have reasonable suspicion. Ladies and gentlemen, think carefully, share, subscribe, and comment, and click that notification bell. This is Naram Promotions, the Real Deal Podcast Show. Share this with your family and friends. Share this video. Donate to our channel if you want to hear more of this. And if you want to comment, just put it in the comment section. I'll get to you. And I'll also open the phone lines if you have questions about this. So I'm going to bring this forward again. I'm going to continue this video, and I have one other video in U.S. immigration. But this, do not be fooled. The federal government is ahead of this, and they know what time it is. Oh, they know. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to continue this video for a couple more minutes, and then we're going to switch to another video.
States cannot write their own immigration laws when those laws conflict with federal policy. The ruling doesn't just tweak the system, it resets it entirely. What does this mean in practice? Starting this September, every state law that gave local police the power to arrest someone solely for their immigration status must be rolled back. Police officers will no longer have the authority to pull someone over, check their papers, and hold them just because of immigration concerns. That authority now rests only with federal agencies.
And do remember that even if the courts, these rogue judges, release these people, ICE is right there. This is why they ramped up 10,000 more ICE agents, and they're recruiting a lot more in that agency to control those illegal migrants and also those who have removal orders and so on. This is a big deal. Let's continue to listen.
Immigrant communities, this shift is monumental. For years, undocumented parents feared being pulled over on their way to work or detained during routine traffic stops. Families lived with constant anxiety, unsure whether a local police encounter could turn into a deportation case. This ruling doesn't make people immune from federal enforcement, but it ends the era of state-level crackdowns that often went further than federal law ever allowed.
So, even though this ruling gives you some sort of relief locally, do remember you have the roving raids going on, and also there's a safeguard that tells you if you do not register and you're undocumented, then they're coming after you, and you cannot adjust yourself here unless you pay the fine and you're going to be placed in removal proceedings. Also, if you have a criminal history, there's a possibility that you'll be put in removal proceedings. Also, if you think you can circumvent this, they've closed all the doors already. So speak to an immigration attorney, speak to an immigration specialist because you need to know before you go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wrap this video up, and we're going to look at one other video in the U.S. immigration section regarding the new enforcement rules for green card holders. This is extremely important that you listen, because this is a big deal. Okay? It's a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share that with you, and then we're going to move into some community news and events, and we move on from there. Here we go. So let's bring that into the fore. Here we go. All right. Got it. So we're going to move this up on the screen, and I'm going to comment on this afterwards. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start this video.
Welcome back to Immigration Channel. In this video, like I tell you every single time we announce breaking news, I'll tell you all the information about new rules that were just issued by USCIS. They're going to change the way green card interviews are being conducted, and also the powers that USCIS officers are now having when they're making decisions or when they are enforce immigration laws. Basically, what the new rules are saying is that immigration officers are now going to have federal agent powers. It means that they're going to have more power to investigate immigration cases, submit cases for prosecution, and also...
So let me roll that back a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on a second. So this is an immigration attorney, Shaposhnik, if I'm pronouncing it right, is telling you that immigration agents have federal powers. Did you listen to the other videos I gave you? Federal powers. The Supreme Court stated that only the president or the federal government has the right to implement immigration laws or to enforce immigration laws or to create immigration programs. So now, in order for that to be extended across the 50 United States, they federalize the agents that are going to be dealing with you. So that means automatically, this is what he's saying right here, on the federal powers, here we go.
Federal agent powers. It means that they're going to have more power to investigate immigration cases, submit cases for prosecution, and also arrest applicants right there at the interview. Now, yes, we know.
So that means, if you notice in other podcasts, I said to you that they're arresting immigrants at their hearings at immigration court. So therefore, who you think is doing the arresting? These are federal agents, and they have the power to do it. And they've been given, the Supreme Court has ruled that this is legal. Let's continue to listen.
Arrests at interviews are currently happening, but they're happening by ICE agents that happen to come to the immigration office based on information they have before the interview. The change right now means that immigration officers, while they're at the interview, if they determine that something's going on based on their feelings or what they have there, they could arrest you or submit your case for prosecution.
Hold on, ladies. Let me bring that back on stage for you, because my still video is going on. So here we go. Let's bring that back on stage.
Particular are going to be subject to scrutiny. I want to tell you one thing. Guys, if you're watching my videos, but you're not a subscriber now, and we need to understand what we can do as applicants to make sure that our case is being processed fairly and not subject to unreasonable scrutiny. Now, before we understand what these new rules are, when they're going to be implemented, and what cases in particular are going to be subject to scrutiny, I want to tell you one thing. Guys, if you're watching my videos, but you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show these videos to more people just like you. As always, if you need help with your immigration matters, send me a text to 619-483-4549 or go to www.immigrationasap.com. Leave your details, and one of our team members will contact you ASAP. And now, guys, let's go back into the video. So what are these crazy new rules that were just announced a few days ago? Right now, immigration officers have the power to be federal agents, which means they can make arrests right there at the interview. They can submit cases for prosecution, and they can start investigations right there from the interview about any matter that they deem to be suspicious. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to try to prevent fraud. Nobody wants fraud. What is bad is give too much power to individuals that don't always know how to use it properly. And what do I mean by that? For decades, USCIS as an agency was operating separately from ICE. USCIS conduct the interviews, get the information, and if they find out something's off, they might alert ICE, and they will do their investigation and enforcement arrests on their end. USCIS was handling applications, and ICE was handling enforcement and removal. This new rule essentially brings us back 30 years ago when we had the old traditional INS, if you remember INS. And with INS, things were kind of under one spot. Officers were doing investigations, but they also were in charge of enforcement in a way. And remember, this all happened before 2003, where this one agency, INS, was doing everything. And of course, INS was an agency with a lot of issues, a lot of faults, big backlogs. And as a result, they decided to reform the system and create the USCIS. Now remember, this rule extends USCIS authority, but it doesn't change who qualifies for a green card. If you marry a U.S. citizen and you qualify, you should apply for a green card. If you're applying for your parent, you can still do that. If you're trying to get a green card and you overstayed and you're married to a citizen, you can still do that. Those rules have not changed at all. It's just the enforcement and the way they're going to do it is going to be different. And people are worried, well, what if I worked without authorization? What if I overstayed? What if I came on a tourist visa and got married after 2 weeks? Well, remember, guys, the rules are still the same. You can still file for a green card. The question is, what is going to happen after you file? Are they going to look at you and say, well, you came on a tourist visa. You told them that you got a tourist visa at the U.S. Embassy. We can see it in the computer. But now you enter the United States, and 2 weeks later, you married your boyfriend or girlfriend. That is not correct. And now officers are going to start questioning you at the interviews. And they're going to asking you more questions. And you're going to be on the spot, which means you're going to have to understand what are some of these red flags that they're going to be looking for. So when you show up at your interview, you're going to be able to first explain it. And second of all, even be able to avoid it in the first place. Because some people are not even aware.
And given the current landscape, ladies and gentlemen, there's a no tolerance kind of a attitude from USCIS where if you make a mistake, they're not gonna tolerate it. If you break the rules, more than likely they're not gonna tolerate it. And the natural flow of thing is when they make these decisions in your case, then you move on. If it's negative, if they turn your case down or they see that it's adverse, then they're going to send you to removal. That's the general trend. It's more of an enforcement, and you got to go back to previous podcasts that I've done. You look at other attorneys that I've brought forward to you to explain this to you, that this is a no-nonsense approach. You're not forgiven for mistakes. The RFE's, request for evidence, is few and far between now. You can't afford to make a mistake. You lose your money. You're placing your family members or the beneficiaries are placed in removal proceedings if they are in that category. So you got to be careful. So we're going to listen a couple more seconds of this. Then I'm going to go into community news and community events. Welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Here we go.
But they shouldn't be married in the United States after they come here on a tourist visa, and they should wait a few months before doing that. They don't know that. But now that you're watching my video, you're going to know that There are some things that you should not do when you enter the United States. Like, for example, you should not overstay your visa if you can avoid it, right? If you can avoid it, do not overstay. But if you already overstayed, fine. You're watching this video now 2 years in. What can you do? Well, you can prepare the application, have documents to explain why it happened, show that you're really with your spouse, have all the evidence to show it's a bona fide marriage. And if the officer decides to deny this case, it's going to cause extreme hardship to your U.S. citizen spouse. So having the mitigating factors, even after the overstay, will help you work with an officer that is now using a lot of discretion. And they have that discretion right now. So if you come across somebody who's shady, or somebody who's trying to evade the law, they're going to use their discretion. They will investigate you. They'll detain you. They'll do whatever it takes in their power to prevent you from getting their green card. That is the change that we see, not who qualifies for a green card. That has not changed. It's the power they have to take the benefit from you and prevent you from getting that green card.
So, ladies and gentlemen, speak to an immigration attorney, speak to an immigration specialist, because you need to know before you go. Whatever you decide, you need to know before you go. Speak to an immigration specialist, speak to an immigration attorney, and welcome back to Naram Promotions, The Real Deal podcast show. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move into some community news real quick, as we're going to end the show soon after that, after community events. So, let's dive deep into community news. So, if you remember, on September 28th, 2025, Rakesh's memorial is going to be on September 28th, 2025, in New Forest District on Longwell Road. If you know Well Road, you know it's the biker's lane, and they have a memorial for Rakesh. It's a year now since he has died, and we ask you to support the family. He left behind a wife and children, and they want your support. So please support the family, give them some moral support, because they need it. This is going to be September 28th, 2025, along Well Road in New Forest District in Manchester. Please support Rakesh's memorial. Support the family. Give them what you can. Support them in any way you can. This brother is a young brother that died. I know him personally, and we say condolences to the family. And they're still going through that grief of losing a father and a husband. And please support it, ladies and gentlemen. We move on to, we have, I'm going to go to community events in South Central Jamaica, and I want to bring to you Skinny's bingo party. That's tomorrow or today, September 14th at 7 p.m. because we're now in Sunday. That's September 14th today in at Shakira's place at Shiloh Street, Top Prospect in Manchester. Get there, ladies and gentlemen. Skinny's a top chef. He's also one of those. He was a part of Dragon Force sound system, big back in the day, and he's a top chef now. Still in the music game. He knows the music, and he's having a bingo party. He said $50 per bingo book. You can't ask for better than that. And you got a top chef that the food good. You know what I mean? Big up to Skinny. You know what I mean?
Congratulations. Well done.
So big up to you. And we say hats off to you. So, you know how it goes. If you're in the Prospect District, go check out Skinny. Goodness gracious me. So, also, tomorrow, we have our girl. Big up to Gia, who has her, what you call it? Sunday vibes. You forget Sunday vibes. Okay. So Gia has her Sunday vibes tomorrow night in Morningside District in St. Elizabeth. That's going to be a big, big deal, ladies and gentlemen. That in itself, she said food on the house, by the way. You don't say everybody gonna rush that. So she's saying, don't even bother cooking up. Just come early and come check out Gia thing. You understand me? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gia's Sunday vibes, we call it. It starts tomorrow, Sunday. She said, food on the house, buy your own beverages, and buy your own rum too. So this is every other Sunday. That means you don't have to cook every other Sunday, and you can go at Gia place. Just head up to Morningside. If you don't know where Morningside is, you know Winters and Son before you get into Junction St. Elizabeth, Junction City. You just hit the little road beside there, and it's a straight shot about a mile up on the left hand side, and you can't miss it. You used to car them and all of the food them and the hungry belly. Yeah, so early. Yeah, I forgot it early to get your food, because the food nice. We can't tell you. I've been there before, and I've eaten. They have some wicked chef up there. So I don't know when them put nice food, but the seasoning right. I mean, it's fresh. You know what I mean? So big up to Gia every time. Sunday Vibe starts tomorrow or today, September 14th, and every other Sunday after that. Food on the house. Go check it out. Man, tell you. Yeah. And you have Crazy Mondays tomorrow. Guys, you remember that? Crazy Mondays at Mel's Bar in New Forest District at Ian's Lawn. A big deal. Yeah, man. Big up to Mel. I don't get the poster yet, Mel. What happened? Or what kind of thing that? The delay? But we have VIP Mondays on Monday. So we're going to highlight it and remind you that it's Crazy Mondays every Monday at Mel's Bar, New Forest District in Manchester, right beside New Forest High School. You can't miss it. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. It's one of those places you got to go. It's got to be on your bucket list. Every Monday, you have a good vibe at Crazy Monday. The food is great. Ian, her father, does a great job in the kitchen because he makes sure his daughter is everything right around the kitchen net. You understand me? You can't go wrong because the food is off the chain. Check out Crazy Mondays, guys. It's gonna be big. And I say big up to Ian, big up to Mel every time. And you remember, Asha D returns to radio, live radio on passionuk.com. It's called a Traffic Jam Show starting this coming Friday, September 19th at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time, and it's going to be called the Traffic Jam Show. I used to have a traffic jam show, but this one, listen to Asha D as he takes you through the musical corridors, and I'm telling you, he's one to be reckoned with. It's going to be a big deal. Big up to my nephew, Asha D. Do you remember Gallus Anthem? Gallus Anthem is going to be on September 26th, guys. This is DJ Kino. He lost his mom. And we say condolences to him. He's feeling it, but this is his birthday celebration. Gallus Anthem is a street dance edition on September 26th. It's a Friday. You have Star Level, Lethal Stain, DJ Sean, and a whole lot of other DJs. DJ Kino is one of the top DJs in South Central Jamaica. Check him out on September 26th. You will not regret it at Wayne's Bar in Bentown in Compton District in St. Elizabeth or Manchester, depending on which side of the street you go. Yes, but Dallas Anthem is set to be one of the parties of all parties in South Central Jamaica. Big up to DJ Kino, and this is going to be a big, big deal. I'm telling you. I can hear Yvonne Powell. I'll call you back in a few minutes. Just hang on, my dear. I'll get to you. If you want to come on live, tell me in the comment section. Yeah, and yes, my army brethren, Sir Wallace, him said the thing rough party. You know, the thing rough. Big up to, yeah. So Miss Yvonne Powell, Miss Ivy, you can check me out. Just if you want to be on live, call back, or you can wait till I'm done. All right. So and I'll call you back. All right. So big up to Miss Ivy over there in Bull Savannah District in St. Elizabeth. Big up every time. So if you want to come on live, you're gonna send me your message in the comment section, and I'll bring you on live. I don't know if you want to come on live or you just want to talk to me, but you can say that in the comment section. And if you want to come on live, I'll bring you on live. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, hold on a second. We got also Odette and is it Sandra? Odette and Sandra has a big party here in the United States, and it's going to be in Queens. It's an every year party, and this is Sent Best Togetherness. I can tell you this, that this party is always overloaded, but this year it's going to be at Compound at 190-01 Linden Boulevard in Queens, New York. It's a year-to-year, it's an annual event, and it's a statement thing. So you have DJ Andy, Echo Stone, Troy, and Glamour Wayne, the big, bad Glamour Wayne is going to be there. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm here, with the F early, you know, our girl Odette is from Lititz in St. Elizabeth, and she has this party every year. Big up Miss Adair, her husband. You know it go. Hats off to you, my brother. You know what I mean? Yes. You know the thing loud. It is very, very loud, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you, this is not something that you want to miss if you're here in the United States, in Queens, on this is October 4th, 2025. It's a Saturday. Check it out. It's going to be a big, big deal. So big up to Odette and Sandra. You know what I mean? Sent Best Togetherness. Goodness gracious me. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to look at Book It. Book It is on October 26th in Junction City. We call it Junction City now. In Junction, St. Elizabeth, it's one of those big deals. This event is affordable and it's full of fun. It's the Paint the City edition by the Impact crew. You know, they make an impact on Impact events. So this event is going to be overloaded. The tickets are selling out. So you got to go to Dimitri's in Santa Cruz, Yardman Gas Station in Junction, Outer Space Drip in Junction, Jackie's Wholesale in Junction, and Ultimate Dining in Mandeville to get your tickets. It's going to be more at the gate. It's October 26th, the tickets are almost gone. It's a big event and it's affordable. I think VIP is what, 4,000? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I think VIP is 4,000 Jamaican dollars. That's a big deal for VIP. Don't miss it. This impact event, all impact events are great, and we want to get him on the show here. The man himself, he eluded us from this other show. Yeah, well, you're not going to elude it. My brethren, you have to come on the show. You understand me? So you have to talk to it. But this is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tickets. October 26th, Junction City, Junction St. Elizabeth. It's going to be a big deal. Big up to Impact Event. We have a lady called Mama Sketel. Year-to-year annual thing. You know what I mean? December 6th is called Ambition Over Hype. It's going to be a Time Is Now car wash in Prospect District in Manchester. You're gonna have TikTok sound, the big bad TikTok sound. Yeah. Year to year at this party. Always give a good vibes. And DJ Splendid is gonna be off the chain, guys. It's one of them link up party there. The big people link up and spend some serious money and enjoy themselves in full security. Yes, we say big up for Muscatel every time. It's going to be a loaded party. You got to be there and it's going to be secure, guys. I guarantee you. So, also Randy and Otis, Officer Randy Bartley, and the Rum Fatigue crew, and also Otis the Smiling Don. They have what you call the Boxing Day event, December 26th at Mango Tree Bar in Turner Top District in Manchester. This is going to be a big deal in the festive season. One of the biggest party with a rum crew. Yeah, that crew, yeah, big. Yeah, big deal. You know, so if you like a rum, check out that crew, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it comes to that time of night where we're winding down. We are over 42 minutes in, and we're gonna wind this down. And we say big up to all crew. And if you're ever in South Central Jamaica, just remember you gotta check out a few places. I'm gonna tell you where to go. Just remember this. Put this on your bucket list, or just make sure when you're ever in South Central Jamaica, you got to check out these places because you've got some of the best atmosphere, some of the greatest people that are on planet Earth to look after you. And I must say this, the warm welcome that you receive at these venues, these establishments, is second to none. And I must say that in South Central Jamaica, you can guarantee that you'll have a great time at any one of these venues I'm gonna give you right now. So just take a moment to get a pen, or if you want to, share the video or whatever you want to do. Just take a moment to situate yourself, and I'm gonna go through that right now for you to understand that these venues I'm giving you are great venues to be at, and you can guarantee that you will have a great time when you go there, and it's going to be a great atmosphere, and also you will enjoy yourself. I guarantee you. Check it out if you think I'm joking. So here we go. Let's start with Misha's Hot Right Spot Bar in Sear District along Sear Main Road. And you can also Google her. Put this in your Google Maps and it will take you right there. This is a great place to be. Don't be fooled. It may a little bit of talawa, but it's big in the back, in the secure area. So if you don't want to be up front, you can go to the lounge right here at Beach's right spot. Also, you can head over to Top Rock. Top Rock has adequate parking. It's enclosed. You're on top of the rock. You can see down in Black River or look at the Carpenter's Mountain. It's a great place to be. The seafood is off the chain. You can order in, check the numbers out, call them before you get there. Your food can be ready when you arrive. You have great parking spot off the road in a private area, which is secure, and you can, your car is safe, and you get to a great atmosphere. This is a beautiful deal. You can also go to Bowles Fish Stop. Also, he has the Bowles Cricket Oval, which you have 2 venues to choose from, depending if you want to be on that little tiki bar by the oval or you want to be at the restaurant at Bowles Fish Stop next door. They have a great restaurant, a great service. Check it out. You need to put this on your bucket list. And also, finally, the Mystic Inn. That's my place. You can go there. It's great. It's secure. And it has a wonderful atmosphere. You can call me if you need me to. If you want to cater for a large event, call me. Contact me, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers are down below. You can contact me and I will set it up for you. But this is somewhere you want to be if you want to be under the gazebo, inside the building, or outside where you have adequate space. You're safe. There's a lot of security there. Check me out and give me a call, and I'll cater for you if you need a private event or you need a party and so on. You can contact me, and I'll look after you, ladies and gentlemen. We say this. We've come to the end of the show. Always remember, this is a family-friendly show, so please donate to us at any one of those to any one of those entities, and keep this family-friendly show alive. We want to start the call-in program so you can also, air your views or your concerns, but we need to get you active in the comment section. Tell me if you want to call in and talk about something or a topic that is within our scope. So always like, share, subscribe, comment, and click that notification bell. Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, that you are not responsible for your life. God is. You know what I mean? So always pray when you're going out. Pray when you're coming in. And always remember, God is in control. Thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to have you. And we'll see you at the next show at PIP Mondays on Monday. Thank you. God bless you. Walk good. And we say, we pray for you. One love every time. God bless you all.